I have a handlebar mustache.
Mine's just a part of my beard. There's nothing like unique about it compared to the rest of the hair.
Same. It's pretty lame.
I had a Frank Zappa one going for a little bit, but it was a lot to maintain.
What does Frank Zappa mean?
Frank Zappa, the rock musician, has a like.
Oh.
It's not handlebar. He has a very pronounced soul patch with a mustache that stops. It's a very iconic look. I did it for a costume, but it was really hard to maintain.
Dedication.
Mothers of invention.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Big Frank Zappa fan. At one point when torrenting was more of a thing, I was like, I wonder how many, here's a Frank Zappa torrent. I wonder, 71 albums. Okay.
Oh, that one.
Yeah. I don't think I ever got all the way through that 9 terabytes.
You know, you made it as a musician when you just have 9 terabytes worth of music.
Yeah. When you just like, all he did was like had a studio, like his own recording studio, and then just made music, just recorded and recorded and recorded and drank coffee and smoked cigarettes and recorded. And that was like all he did. And toured, a lot of touring, but yeah.
Yeah, he covers a lot of genres too, it looks like.
Yeah. He's pretty wild.
Yeah. I'm gonna be completely honest. I have not heard of this man before you said his name on this podcast. But looking at his career, I'm surprised I haven't heard of him. Because it seems like he's a big deal.
Yeah, very cool dude. And then when the PMRC Tipper Gore stuff was happening in the 80s, and all the musicians showed up to Congress to be like, no, leave us alone. Like he cut his hair and like showed up and was just, people were not expecting him to be like, no, this is how this works. This is how this business works. These are these things. And it's like, we've brought the weird, crazy rock and roll man who sings about weird, crazy rock and roll things and writes like operas about the weirdest stuff. And he's like, no, here's why you're all wrong. And this is like how went on Crossfire and on CNN at one point and was just like, no, this is like, you guys are all crazy and this is insane.
The world needs more people willing to call out insanity.
Yeah. Pretty cool dude.
I like him. I approve of his mustache. Beautiful man.
All right. Incredible.
This episode should just be called Frank Zappa for no reason. We didn't even talk about him in the episode. He's just the name of the episode.
I don't think there's a Frank Zappa on the island. Like, what do you...
I mean, I'm sure he runs some sort of... Just pretend that Salvatore's alter ego is Frank Zappa.
He's the dude who played the harp before Medley got it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Welcome to the A4NB4Y podcast, the Legend of Zelda's themed podcast where we go chapter by chapter through the game. This week, we're heading straight towards Dragon Roost Island. Now that we've gotten our sail from the Windfall, we are good to go on our adventure proper. I am your host, Ryan Fonzie, and I am an offset lawn umbrella. And with me, as always...
Yarr, I be Cameron, and I be a pouch to keep your gold booty.
Yar, I be Luigi, and I be a pouch to keep ye letters.
Yar.
Yar, and I'm Anthony, and I'm a pouch to keep your berries in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Don't remember that pouch. To protect from the scurvy.
It's for your pirate Pokemon.
Or that.
Yar?
What? Yar? Yar is evolving.
Yar evolved into har.
Har.
And evolved into fiddly-dee.
Don't give him ideas.
You got a holographic fiddly D? No way.
All right, if this does not release in the next gen of Pokemon, I'm going to be very sad.
It'd be such an easy thing to do.
It would.
I don't think they've ever done it.
It'll be spelled like FIDLIDEE, like fiddly.
Mm-hmm.
But
They're up to 1,000 at this point. I'm sure this already exists.
I was just thinking, I don't know about a pirate-themed Pokemon. Is there one?
They got the steering wheel, the pirate ship steering wheel.
Yeah.
Oh, they got
Forgot
that
its name
too.
Yeah.
I mean, if there's one thing Pokemon needs, it's more water types.
Yeah, I know. Telling truth.
All right. So, Dragon Roost Island. We kind of hit the shore at the end of our last episode, so I don't know if we need to describe the profile of this place. It's a big old triangle with a dragon on top.
What about this soundtrack, though?
Yes, the music. We've been forgetting to talk about the music. I mean, I put all of like the main background musics into our episodes, but we have not really been talking about it nearly enough. Windfall had a great track. Dragon Roost has a better track.
This is the track.
Yeah.
This is the track everybody knows from this game.
Yeah. This track is so good that they've reused it many times.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Colgate toothpaste dragon.
Yes. Yeah, that's the one that everyone lost their mind over.
It's kind of got that upbeatness to it that the Gerudo Valley had, but it's not flamenco. It's like a whole different. I don't even know what it is, but it's good. I know that.
Yeah,
probably should have.
It's dancey.
It. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I've never really like thought to, because they have the little finger clappers. I forget what those are called. Kind of thing, like, you know. I don't know. I get that vibe from it. I guess they're not. Maybe it's more just clapping, but I get that vibe from it. I've never.
It's the first volcano step song.
Okay.
Oh goodness.
When's the lava gonna drop?
Yes.
All the yes.
Wow.
It's just such a good track, though. It's up there with like Saria's song and the Lost Woods for how many times it's been remixed by who knows how many different people. Like, this is I feel like one of Zelda in general's most beloved songs, and it's I listen to it, you know. I vibe with it.
Transcend Zelda.
It follows the Rito around like they can't get away from it. It's like it's their song. But
Yeah.
it's very good. So you'll probably be hearing it in the background right now as we talk about it. So I don't know that we need to describe it any more than we have, but
I'm
this
dancing.
has definitely been a keystone song of the series. It's very good.
So good.
Yeah.
And it's got that epic feeling to it. And speaking of epic feelings, we get a little platforming puzzle as we make our way into the Roost proper.
With bomb flowers.
Hold on.
For dragons.
Did we talk about last episode about the Wind Waker?
I don't think we talked about getting it, but we also don't know if we need to yet. Do you want to talk about it at the start of the episode or at the end of the episode? Because either way.
Yeah, I always do the thing at the end.
I guess, yeah. Because
it makes more sense with the story if you do it at the end.
Well, let's just say you get a little trinket that the lion tells you to do some stuff, a little musical conductor baton, and you probably don't have an idea why you're getting that because he doesn't really explain it.
Yeah. It feels like we don't know of a better place to give this to you. Like it would make sense to give it to you at the end, but then what happens at the end will happen, and then you would have to also be stopped by Carl or Coral, whatever. and he would like, hey, here's this thing in my mouth. So they do the here's this thing in my mouth part when you get to the island,
which is very
because there's just like not really like there's no good way to give this to you. I remember when I first played this game, like when it was brand new, being kind of critical of it because it wasn't Ocarina of Time. But I remember being super critical of this moment, just be like, oh, in the game Ocarina of Time, the ocarina is given to you in a very dramatic fashion. It's huge. Yeah. It's part of the story. And in the game, The Wind Waker, it's in my mouth. Here you go. So yeah, I remember being kind of like snooty about it the first time I played this.
That comparison will definitely do that because you actually get two different ocarinas in that game, and they're both emotional moments. Mm-hmm. Like neither of them is cheap.
Yeah.
And this one is very much like, hey, by the way, we couldn't figure out how to work this into the real story, so here's how you conduct, but also I'm not going to teach you any songs. You're like, what?
Yeah, get in there.
What are we doing?
I know how to use it.
And it doesn't help you at all.
No.
Like, it doesn't do anything on this island. Not until you're ready to leave. So we get the Wind Waker.
Well, I mean, historically... Isn't there a place you could use it if you got the first song, though?
I don't think
they let us. Because remember when...
It doesn't do anything practically.
Because like, at the one point, you have to throw what's-her-name up into the place, and you have to wait for the wind to change. Could you use it to forcefully change the wind at that point?
You can't.
Really? No?
Because you're inside, technically. Like, you're within the volcano, and it's volcano currents. It's not like...
She makes a...
That's scripted wind.
Yeah, apparently. She makes a mention. Like, she says specifically something about it.
It would be cool if Nintendo allowed for that, but I'm pretty sure they just straight up don't.
Right. They don't want you thinking about that just yet.
In fact, one could say that they're introducing the tumultuousness of the wind in that scene, just to kind of hint that you may need to wrangle it at some point, because, you know.
Yeah. They're introducing the idea. Yeah.
Of wind direction, yeah. If the sailors didn't get that across already, there's just...
You gotta go that way.
It's a theme of wind, guys. It's a whole thing. So we've kind of skipped ahead a little bit, but we climb... We get an introduction to bomb flowers. They exist still in this flooded Hyrule, believe it or not. We use them to make our way up to the actual home of the Rito, which is just a cross between like a kingdom and a post office.
Yeah. I don't know which one came first.
In a cave.
Which one came first, the kingdom or the post office?
Yeah.
I think the kingdom came first.
I think in the lore, yeah, you're right. I mean, we do meet our mailman outside.
Yeah, we meet Will first, which is great because we've seen him before, and he's like, "Oh, hey, welcome aboard.
How are things going?
Problems. Come on inside."
He doesn't tell us about their problems. He's just like, "Yo, how's it going? Like, how's your sister?" Oh yeah.
Okay. You didn't get her. Okay.
Hey, well, maybe we can help. You know what? Let me fly ahead and I'll let him know you're coming.
Yeah. And then when you get inside, like
none of that.
the chieftain comes out and he's like, Quill told us about you, but also we got enough to deal with right now. But maybe, hey, maybe you can. Well, then Quill kind of comes in and he's like, well, Ryan's kind of a cool guy. Well, my character's name's Ryan, so he says Link, right? Link's kind of a cool guy. Why don't you have him talk to your kid since he's having some like cool guy issues?
Yeah. I mean, he lays all their problems out first.
Yeah.
Down to the point where they're like, so I don't know if I just never picked up on this before, but like, Dorito are just dudes. They're just people.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what? I noticed that too this time. They're just like dudes with beards with like beaks strapped to their faces.
They have like these big beak prosthetics. Like the chief clearly has the biggest nose, so that's how you can tell who's in charge. But yeah, they're like dudes.
Maybe it's because like after playing Tears of the Kingdom, where very clearly like their entire face is bird and they talk with their beaks, that made it stand out. But they just have like human mouths and then a beak over their nose is what it looks like.
Mm-hmm. And they mentioned that like we can't fly unless we go hang out with this dragon who gives us a scale and then allowing us to like grow wings or allowing us to fly. Like other than that, we can't fly. We're not birds. We used a hook to get around, and like I'm just like, why did I not like pick up on this?
Yeah, they use the grappling hook until they get their wings.
Yeah, everyone likes to talk about the whole Zora thing, but like, I don't know. These people just seem just like
I will
they're just
say
people.
They have their beaks at birth, it seems like, before they can fly.
Yeah,
I mean, they're just like a style of DIY bird, you know. They're not supplied with their own wings. They gotta get them, you know.
You just gotta talk to a dragon. It's that easy,
right? And though many of them already are capable of flight, so their whole culture's not entirely like flightless yet. But if they can't figure out what's going on with their deity Valoo, then none of the fledglings will be able to go get their wings, and that is a threat to the future.
Just the Valoo's just real mad right now.
Yeah. So they ask you to talk to the attendant, to Valoo, but they also kind of mention to talk to the Prince Komali, but to talk to the attendant first.
She has the letter. What will eventually be a letter that we are supposed to deliver, which we're mentioned in the letter. So that's fine. Yeah. What's
really
going
crazy
on here?
Because the Rito chieftain wrote that letter in the amount of time it took Quill to fly there from talking to us to tell him we're on the island and then give it to Medley.
And then doesn't the letter just straight up say this is Link? Like this is, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the whole situation's weird because he's just like, look, maybe a complete stranger will be able to level with my son, and not his own father. Yeah.
I mean, it's always troubling when a society that has like less than a dozen people can't make time for the kid.
The kid who is
they don't know what delegation is yet.
The chieftain, there's no way he's that preoccupied with, I don't know, politics to not be able to like help his kid out with more than a letter. And if the letter doesn't straight up say like this is Link, then what it would have said was like, hey, we all heard about this kid who went chasing after his sister. Maybe be more like him. Like
be like the kid who jumped off a cliff to save his sister. Yeah, it's real weird because like we will find he has been through something very traumatic. And his dad just like, buck up, try again. And he's like, no.
Back up, Barty boy.
Listen here, Birdman.
I also want to make something clear as well that the Rito chieftain and his two guards tell us. They basically say, like, I didn't catch this the first time through. I just caught this now. But he specifically kind of tells us to stay put. So he's like, yeah, we have these issues going on, and, the attendant is going to figure this out. I don't really want you to intervene. I know you've been through a lot, so just sit tight. I don't want you doing anything other than talking to my son, talk up a little pep in his step.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, we're not supposed to technically do anything.
No, he wants us to... he wants the kids to get together and solve the kid thing while the adults get together and solve the adult thing.
Yeah.
Zoinks.
Unless you're Medley, in which case you're solving everything.
Right. Zelda.
True Zelda.
The backs of the kids.
Yeah. Kids do everything. What's my favorite line from it's just any Zelda game is, oh man, thank goodness this 10-year-old showed up because we were all gonna die.
I mean, that does happen quite a bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we go and we meet Medley. She's got a lot to share. Is she when we find out about what happened with the previous attendant? Does she let us know that, or
I think so.
Yeah.
She gives us the letter.
It's just called like father's letter, which I thought was hilarious.
And then I think she asks us to go to. Then she's like, "All right, now I'm going to get out of here. You meet me over here." I don't think she tells us about the attendant. I don't know if she does that later, but like between her and Kamali, they kind of tell us about grandmother attendant a bit.
Right. So she asked us, like, she's like, after you're done talking with the prince, like, please come meet me out in the whatever it is. It's basically the entrance to the dungeon, but there's like a specific name for it, and it might even be like the spring or something like that. It's not very springy right now; it's all burnt over. But so we can take Father's letter in our new postman bag and kind of run it downstairs to the prince.
We deliver it.
Right. Because, we're the best person for this. And originally he wants nothing to do with us.
Yeah. Like, who are you?
Yeah. And until we show him the letter, and even then, he's still kind of got that. He's a kid going through some stuff, so he's not exactly like on board with being friendly right now.
Mm-hmm. The kid who was just attacked by a very powerful dragon.
Yeah.
So I guess as the story goes, because of the passing of the previous attendant, who was Kamali's grandmother and also Medley's mentor, Medley
and Valu's attendant,
Medley was tasked with helping Prince Kamali up the mountain to go get his wings, basically. But instead, there's a whole bunch of problems going on with the mountain right now. Not the least of which is something is bothering Valu to the point where he is ornery and not helpful. And he straight up like lashes out against them as they're on their pilgrimage.
This is the job of the attendant, though, that Medley is to one, attend to Valu, but also to lead fledglings up the mountain.
Yeah. And so not only has this kid like recently gone through what I'm guessing is pretty recent, the passing of his grandmother, and has been like, dealing with that emotion. Now he's traumatized by the dragon. So he's clinging to this Din's Pearl as like a coping mechanism, as it's like the last heirloom and like gift he has from his grandmother.
Yeah.
Which I'm not opposed to. Like, I think one of the things we've talked about on the podcast before is like, there's some Zelda games where it very much eventually devolves into, hey, we need to get that thing, so just go get the thing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like your mission statement. And the King of Red Lions is kind of guilty of that. A bit. Like some of his rhetoric is like, oh well, we need to go get the pearls or whatever, so we just gotta.
He tells
go
you
to
nothing.
locations.
He explains nothing.
Yeah. Does he say we need a pearl?
I don't even know if he does. I mean, he says that there's
At the
kinda
end
marked
he
out
does.
that there are locations. At the end of this, he'll say we have to get the next pearl.
Yeah, but I
so
don't
we need to sail south. So
I was actually just looking it up because before you mentioned it, I had that thought in my head. Like, I know he told us to come here, but did he tell us why? Did he just expect like we would find this shiny pearl and then our ADHD would just grab it and then run? Like, I don't know.
I trust that you'll know what to do when the time is right, Link.
Yeah.
but like, I guess where I was going with that is that in a game like Ocarina of Time or in this, the sacred objects aren't just MacGuffin. Like they're part of the culture for some reason. Like this is a family heirloom that's been passed down. It's currently in active use. That's like bonus points for me. Even if it's not, doing much for a lot of people, it's doing a lot for one character.
Yeah. It wasn't just given to you randomly by a tree.
Right.
This is more heirloomy, wedding ring adjacent, really.
Yeah. So I'm not angry about the situation. It is very obvious. Like when you see it, you're like, oh, that's the thing that I probably need.
It's glowing.
Come on, it's like a box. It's just like any pot.
It's kind of like the orb in Impa's hut in Breath of the Wild, and you're kind of like, how do I get this?
What is that? I want it.
But there's no.
That was annoying to get, man. All of the Kakariko side quests were like kind of boring. I don't like. Well, not that I don't like, but Kamali calls us out. He's like, "You're in this letter too, like poking your nose into other people's business. You're nosy, aren't you?" I'm like,
yeah,
bro, I just showed up, and like people are like, you're gonna handle this. Bye. So I'm sorry. Like, I kind of get what you're going through. If this is the way your dad acts to you too, like, I'm sorry.
This kind of reminds me of a saying I remember from Hero Academia where they say, like, the basis of being a hero is to not mind your own business. Like, you can't really help people if you're not willing to go out of your way to learn, like, what's going on around you. So, I mean, technically, yeah, one way to look at it is you're nosy, but the other way to look at it is I'm here to help you. You guys are having a bad time. Like, I'm offering to help. Really? You're going to call me nosy?
Yeah.
But he's also been through some stuff, so.
Yeah. He's kind of a neglected kid at this point. Which, I don't know. It's, yeah. So the direct approach clearly will not work with Prince Kamali. He needs something else. Like, he needs basically proof of your character before he's willing to really take you seriously. Yeah. Which I think for his situation, that's justifiable. Because he probably trusted his people and trusted the attendant and trusted Valoo, and all of that kind of fell apart on him. So he's not just going to be like, oh, some outsider for sure.
Yeah.
Not only did it fall apart on him. Yeah. Go ahead.
I was going to call back to what I was saying earlier. So he actually straight out tells us like what we can do directly to make him believe us. And he basically says, like, are you trying to say, like, because you're staring at him and he's like, I'm not giving you the ball. And he's like, well, you trying to say that you can calm Valoo down? You ain't no calm him down. And then he says, it's easy to say you can do anything. Bragging doesn't cost anything. Yeah. And I was like, bro, bet.
He even specifically mentions if you can find someone who can overcome all of the obstacles to get up to Baloo. And I was like, all right, so you need some platforming and you need some discussion. All right, I got you.
Yeah. And not only can I find you someone, but I am that someone.
Exactly. So, like, you know, we were told to stay put and sit and make Kamali feel better and, you know, maybe play with him, but we ain't going to do that. Nah, we're going straight up to Valoo. We're going to march ourselves up there.
The kids have a grand mission for us.
Well, first we got to meet Medley and see what she's up to.
True.
But before we do that, we have to sort some mail.
We don't have to, but you can.
If you do it fast enough, after long enough, you get a heart piece.
Right.
Wait, what?
Yeah, you get a heart piece if you sort the mail fast enough. You have to do 25 in like the 20 seconds it gives you, though, so it's actually not the easiest thing to do.
It's pretty tough.
Well, I didn't get no heart piece
yet either, but
I sorted 25 and I got 86 rupees, and I sorted 25. I sorted. I think it was like 29. I only got 86 rupees. He's like, "Wow, you're so good. Wow, I can't believe that you are so good." I played it 3 times.
I was gonna say.
Now he won't let me. He won't let me play it anymore because he's like, "You're too good at this. I can't let you play it." In fact, the new hire just got here, and well, I think he's like the new hire actually arrived because you fake him into thinking you're the new hire. And then he actually finds out that you're Link, and he's like, "Oh, you're the one the chieftain talked about. Wow, I should have known you would, sort the mail so fast." And so I did it 3 times. I got 10 rupees, 20 rupees, and then 86 rupees as my final salary. Because he's like, "We're going to keep bumping your salary up because you're so good." And then that was it.
Huh. I don't remember any of that in mine.
Maybe he mails it to you.
I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I didn't get a heart piece. I thought I got a heart piece, though.
My mailman just said that the faster you sort, the more rupees you get. And I was like, all right, I'm good. Because I had a full wall and it didn't.
Yeah, I was full.
It didn't do a lot for me.
But I think you do get a heart piece eventually.
I'll have to go back to him and see, because, I definitely only got down. He basically said it was 3 rupees
later or something
per letter that you sort.
And you get more based on the faster you do it. You have to do it so many times. I don't know. I wonder if it's possible you can sort so many before it's the thing you have to do that you... I'd imagine they wouldn't let you lock yourself out of a heart piece, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that's weird.
Go shake him down. Maybe.
All right, now I got to look this up so that we don't just bumble about it and then move on. Hold on. Dragon Roost mail sorting minigame. Let's see if I can.
In the meantime, there's got some NPCs here. We got Bashed. We got Bish with a T. Don't want to say his real name.
At the end, with a T at the end.
Yes.
All right. Link earns 1 rupee for every successful throw, bonus of 20 rupees for achieving a score of 25 or higher. First time you participate, you have to achieve at least 20. It says here 25 points to win, but I feel like that's lowered because I'm pretty sure it was 20 when I played it, but maybe I'm wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Sometime after completing Dragon Roost Cavern, Beto is hired by the reader to work for the service. If you manage to get 25 or more letters once again, Beto will ask him to put a letter in the mail to his mother, talking about how great he is. Sometime after sending the letter, Brink will receive a reply from Beto's mother, Kaisha, with a piece of heart inside. So you need to win specifically after they hire Beto to get the heart piece.
Okay. And you do get it in the mail.
Wow. All right.
I mean, I knew you got it in the mail.
Eventually.
The whole time.
It'll come, I swear.
Apparently, I'm misremembering that.
We were all right in our own way.
Yeah. We each had a piece of the mail.
So after we're done sorting mail, we can meet up. You're saying something about Bashed and Beast?
I was just naming the NPCs. You know, we got Bish with a T, we got Bashed, we got Sket, we got Akut, we got Namali, we got Pashali, we got Alari, we got Kogali. You know, all the E's.
A lot of E's.
All right.
So the Ritos have always been Italian.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, way before Rivali's time. You know,
Yeah.
my main homie, G. Rivali.
Oh no.
I'm the only one who ever stands up for him.
That's
For Rivali.
He's a
that's
joy.
good for you.
I'm the one the probably the 0.0001% who like his character.
I blame Nintendo and not Rivali.
Yeah.
That's fair.
He had such a good setup to just be a good
right?
character. And then they were
did
just
nothing
like,
with it.
nah.
My, my favorite. Have you played Age of Calamity, the Hyrule Warriors thing?
I haven't played it, but I watched the full movie on YouTube.
Okay.
To see what
There's a
happened.
moment that it's almost identical to like the Dragon Ball Z abridged when Trunks and like Vegeta like meet, and he's just like when spoilers for Age of Calamity, Teba, you know, all the like helpers also come forward in time or back in time or whatever. They come back in time. It's a weird game.
Mhm.
And as he's going back to his own time at the end of the game, he's just like, yeah, you know, like, I really met you. Like, you're wow. Like, and like Trunks leaving in Dragon Ball Z Bridge is like, Mom, why didn't you tell me? Like, Dad was like the worst. Why didn't you tell me? Like, oh wow, yeah, you just suck, don't you? All right, bye.
Wow.
Yeah.
It
What is
sucks. He's such a good setup. I really wanted to like Rivali so much, and
Give
it's
him a
nowhere to go
smile
with
or
it.
something.
Yeah.
But this isn't Rivali's time.
No,
This is Medley's time.
Cut all that out.
No, we'll keep it. It's fine. So we make our way into the spring basin of the mountain. Still don't remember what the room's actually called, but when you first walk in there, it looks like just ashes flying around in all directions.
Mm-hmm.
There's a big rock blocking the actual spring. All the bomb flowers had dried up. If only they had something to water them, they would flourish and be bomb flowers once again.
This is
so
basically all the guards talk about too. Is mostly this room. If they don't bring up Medley or Kamali, they talk about this room.
Yeah, and so you can go in there and find Medley just at the bottom, looking up at a broken bridge of some kind. And you go and you talk to her, and she's like, kind of gives you more of the story that we've kind of already shared about what happened with Valu and how she needs to get back up there to try to calm him down.
Mm-hmm.
But she's having some trouble because the winds are turbulent, and she needs kind of a toss to get her started. And so she asks for Link's help with that. You can straight up pick her up, bring her over onto a little pedestal. I don't even know if you have to do this. I always do.
You do. You have
Oh,
to do
yeah,
that.
you do.
Because if you don't, she just smacks into the wall, right? Something like that.
Yeah.
It happened 3 times.
It's very adorable.
You
though.
do?
Yeah. I
All
kept
right.
moving back little by little. I'm like, all right, I'll stand on the thing, I guess.
I did the same thing. I thought you would just go up.
Just
Like you can
flap
fly,
harder,
girl.
man. What
Just
are you
fly?
doing?
Yeah.
She cannot fly. She has like
The first
Like
time
a
I just straight
wing
threw her right
jacket.
into the wall.
I don't know, like I don't know where
Remember
the wings hide, but like the guards all have like a jacket on or something. But yeah, like so she has wings, I guess.
Yeah.
Terrible ones.
So eventually you figure it out. You throw her up onto the ledge, and she's super grateful, and she's like, "This is all I have to give you right now." And it's like the best item in the game. It's a bottle.
Yeah.
Perfect for
What do you
scooping
mean this is
some
all you
water
have?
and watering a palm flower, right? She acts like it's not good enough for us. I'm like, excuse me, you've just gifted me a critical mechanic for the rest of my gameplay. So, yeah.
But Medley's being real hard on herself too. She also was like, I am, much like Prince Kamali, grieving the loss of a person who was really great, and I have to now do her job, and that feels wrong.
Yeah,
so
she's like,
I need to do my job.
She's like, I'm not worthy to be even mentioned in the same breath as her, right?
Yeah.
Like, or the same, yeah. So she's definitely having some confidence issues with how her new role is going, and I mean, it makes sense if you have somebody who's like that much a mentor and that much like to lose them before they've really taught you everything, especially can be daunting.
Yeah.
She's also probably way too young to be doing this.
It does feel that way. It feels like she's still apprentice level, right? Like she's still kind of a fledgling mentor herself.
I guess she's going to learn by trial by fire.
She also, again, like, reinforces the point that the Rito chieftain she just tells us to stay put. Like, she's got this. Don't worry about her.
Yeah.
She'll be all right.
This is a Goron problem.
So just another person telling us, don't worry about it. Don't do anything. Just stay in the village.
Just help the children.
And we do not do that.
Yeah.
I just love the amount of people who are just like, Link, like, this is vacation, bro. Like, just chill. And Link's like, nah, I'm here for some reason. I don't know why, because my dang boat didn't tell me, so I got to figure it out.
Come on, he had something stuck in his mouth. It's fine.
Like, I know none of you understand who I am, and in some sense, I don't even understand who I am. But I'm pretty sure I'm the guy who shows up places, doesn't say anything, and fixes all your problems. That's me, and that's what I'm here to do.
I kind of had that thought while I was here, like, because we really don't have any. I mean, like, aside from the lore drop, the boat told us, like, my biggest problem with this point in the game is like, why am I even here? Like, picture if you were Link, even at like this age, why am I here? I would be asking the Red Lion questions like, why? What are we doing? Tell me.
Don't worry about it.
Well, we gotta get the power to fight the boogeyman, remember? And this is the first stop on that journey.
Look, we're gonna kill that guy.
Yeah.
The one you've heard all the stories.
We need a bottle. We need a bottle to do it.
We got it.
The pearl's just extra.
Oh my gosh. Can you imagine Link coming back out to the shore? I got the fish. Just a bottle.
Did you get the little girl's bottle? What were you thinking?
Critical element in our plan.
Oh goodness.
I wish I had legs.
So we use the bottle, surprisingly, to scoop some water bomb flower, blow up the rock, bringing water into the special room once again. Doesn't cool the room down at all. Still looks like it's, ashes just blowing everywhere, but at least we can swim across and make our way into this dungeon.
This water, I would want to, like, I would swim in it if I had to get into a dungeon that I really needed to beat, but like, I bet this water is gross. Just full of ash and soot and dirt grossness.
Yeah, I mean, I felt bad about watering the bomb flower with it, to be honest.
Yeah.
It was like gray water around the rock. I'm like, I hope this is good enough. This doesn't look like it.
This stagnant puddle.
I'm nice, and I treated the bomb flowers with respect, and I went out to the ocean and got water from the ocean.
Wow.
And I only did that. I didn't do it out of the kindness of my heart. I did it because I didn't realize there was water under the rock. And so I walked myself all the way back to the ocean to get a bottle to come back and water the bonfire.
I mean, there's some really nice looking water right by the shore. I'll give you that.
Yeah. So I gave the bomb flowers the VIP treatment.
Yeah. The only minerals you're getting are salt.
Yeah. Those electrolytes.
Yeah.
That's what plants crave.
That's what bomb plants crave.
There it is.
It's the Goron secret ingredient.
Link starts the brand Bombo.
Puts Bomb Cannon Master out of business.
So
I think that was his name.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bomb Cannon Master. Bomb Master Cannon, yes.
Bomb Master Cannon.
My goodness.
Time to make him proud as we play some basketball.
Brings back some Admiral Wolverine lightning bolt vibes.
So,
is that a Metal Gear Solid character?
No, that's a Billy and Mandy reference.
Oh, okay. Well, teach his own. Don't let Kojima know about that.
It does sound like a Metal Gear Solid character, though.
Yeah. Oh, Billy and Mandy.
So let's talk about this dungeon a bit. Instead of like doing like a room by room, just like some key mechanics that we're introduced to. Right off the jump, we find like one of the magic pots that'll be a special thing in this game. Mm-hmm. They're basically just a fast travel shortcut to the beginning of a dungeon. It's kind of like the ones that you might find in A Link to the Past.
Yeah, it's a very 2D mechanic.
Yeah, I didn't use it.
I find it funny. He just jumps into the pot, though.
Yeah, it's pretty great. You just climb up and you just do a giant spin flip out of the other pot. It's great.
The Ocarina dungeons have shortcuts like these, but they're like built into the dungeon. Like you'll eventually push a block or do something that will like create a pathway for like if you like from here on out, if you die or if you lose or if you leave, you'll have a way back to the middle of the dungeon.
Yeah.
But in this one, they just the dungeons aren't designed like that, so they just kind of stick pots around them.
And it's also kind of funny that at the fortress, we already used a mechanic of like pushing a block down so that we could reach a ladder to get back up. So we've already did that mechanic, and they just didn't put it in the dungeons. They gave us a pot.
Yeah, because I didn't do that. I forgot to do that.
I did it. I don't think I ended up using them at all, but I did it.
Yeah.
I got the blocks into the spot to make a bridge, but I did not pull the bottom block out to make a shortcut. But it stays that way, so you can always just pull it out later if you really want to. But yeah, so we go through here. I mean, we get some speaking of block puzzles, some block puzzles. Few minor combat challenges. We got to learn how to take a weapon from an enemy and either light a torch or slash down a wooden wall, which is interesting. I don't think we have to do that too much throughout the whole game, but for some reason in here, it's like a staple thing. Just to
it builds on itself.
Yeah.
The first one is broken, so you can use your own sword, and then you'll have to like steal a weapon or set it on fire.
Right.
The way it works, the mechanic, it's sort of like a mechanic that they build on throughout the dungeon.
Yeah.
Which is kind of what you want from Zelda.
There's some kind of satisfying about chucking a stick on fire so fast it doesn't even drop across an entire room and then watching it light the thing on fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got that lunker strength in him. It really does.
Link is starting quarterback.
Yeah.
For the Hyruleans.
He's the first round pitcher.
I mean, he's got an arm in this game. It's crazy.
Knocking the weapon out of an enemy's hand, picking it up and throwing it at them is like one of the most satisfying ways to fight in this game.
like lightning speed. They just go reeling, flying away.
And it always makes like a hard snap noise when it makes contact. You always chuck it. It's like, and it goes whoosh when it hits them.
That and the critical focus attack, I guess it's called. I don't really know what it's called, but when you tap the A button for a critical, like that is also so like anything that and throwing it is just so satisfying to do against bokoblins and other enemies.
I mean, like, the sound design in this game is on point. The music cues when you're attacking, and it's all everything sounds just crisp and great.
Yeah.
You know, else is a good mechanic. So I actually just realized this dungeon. I hadn't realized this before, and then when I did realize it, I was kind of playing around with it for like a good 10 minutes, and I probably shouldn't have been. But there's a mechanic that is really impressive for what is this? I keep forgetting the year. We say this every episode, and I forget 2003.
3.
So this is really impressive for a 2003 game. There's a mechanic in video game development called inverse schematics. It's where if your character's limbs are separated and it's not just a set floor. So like in some games where your character's like running up a ramp, he will be at different elevations. And so half of his body will be up and half of his body will be down. So like for Link, if you're standing on a stairway or something elevated, his left leg could rise up to like his chest, depending on how high the surface of the object his leg is on. And then his other foot would be obviously at the bottom. And so Link could be at two different elevations and his feet like adjust accordingly to it to give it more immersive. And like that's crazy for a 2003 game because games today don't have that. Like people were going up and like they were posting memes about it on YouTube about Monster Hunter Wilds. Like, oh my God, Monster Hunter Wilds is so good because your character moves at different elevations when you're running. I'm like, this game had it in 2003.
Yeah, Zelda games themselves have had that. Because Twilight Princess had it too. I don't think there are stairs in Ocarina.
There are stairs, but not like that. They're kind of more of a stair.
Yeah, like they're ramps.
Yeah,
they're like inclines.
So needless to say, I was playing around with it because it was just so much fun, just testing it out.
Yeah, I did the same thing because it's always fun to see. Look at this! This is game.
Like I was trying to see how high I could get Link's foot, and like his knee almost goes into his head with how high. Like I'm like, whoa, Link,
knock himself out.
Yeah.
I've noticed the different foot heights like on regular stairs, but I haven't tried to like make it look broken.
So. Yeah, it's fun.
We'd get some other classics like bomb a rock and throw water into lava to make a platform.
That's a new one, isn't it?
The water into lava? Yeah, that's pretty new actually.
Yeah.
I say classic because I've been playing this game since I was a kid.
Yeah.
But
that's true. Yeah.
You're
new to the series. In fact, like the only time they use it really until like for a second in Skyward Sword.
Mm-hmm.
They do,
but yeah. A mechanic that I wish they would use more. It's really cool.
Yeah. So sometimes I like make your own platform things, but sometimes I feel like they get a bit tedious. Like I remember there was in Skyward Sword actually, it wasn't lava, it was you had to like knock out a snail and then ride on its shell through some moving sand.
Yeah.
Quicksand. And that took forever. Just riding it was like a 30-second experience, and I was like, this is the most boring gameplay I think I've ever seen in a Zelda game. But in a situation like this, where you're just kind of like making your own path, but it's really only one or two platforms, like I think that's fun. Like I think that's
yeah. I feel like they kind of did it justice in Tears of the Kingdom, though.
Yeah, like using the water fruits and stuff to make platforms and then being able to build on them and stuff like that. Like I thought that was good. Making lava boats.
Yar.
There it is.
There it is. What else do we get here? We get outside. We got to avoid some giant flaming pillars of doom.
Flaming Pillars of Doom. Birds of Doom.
Oh, those birds are so annoying.
First experience of rock.
Oh, speaking of, there was a
Sound
guy
from a distance.
we didn't talk about yet who gave us a quest. I forgot his name.
What?
I think it was like Hoshi
Oh,
or something.
It's the one guard who's like, my girlfriend really wants this thing, so I lied to her.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. He like straight up lied and was like, I told her I had a golden feather, but I don't. I need you to go get one.
Yeah, I really want her to be happy, so I lied.
Yeah.
So like
I told her I'd give her one, and he doesn't explain how to get one. He's just like, if you ever come across a golden feather, please give it to me because I'm kind of in a bind.
Anybody get one? I forgot that I could
one.
use. Yeah, I forgot I could use the grappling hook to steal.
Right. So like I went up to the top where the roost is, like the one where there's like the little nest, and I killed him because you need like, I think it was like 20 to complete the quest. So I went, I killed him, went in the door, came out the door because, you know, this game they spawn immediately when you open doors.
Yeah. So I just you open that door, you get the wire.
And like, yeah. And he didn't spawn the thing every time. It was like every other time.
You know what you need to do? And you know what? I did the same thing, but with a different item, like in this dungeon. But once you have the grappling hook, which we're about to do, you can just steal whatever you need before you
messed up big time.
Well, I didn't. By the time you get it, we don't run into any more rocks, really.
Right. That's the problem I had. I didn't come out of here with a feather.
I saw one out of the two rocks I ran into. One of them dropped a feather, and it dropped right off the side.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah. And I was kind of upset because I picked up a pot and chucked it at the rock and got the hit, but it knocked it away from the cliff.
Yeah.
And then it poofed, and I saw the feather just drop into the water below. And I was like, all right, I guess.
I was trying to keep him over ground, but it didn't work.
Yeah. I know that if you like have an enemy that's dying off the cliff, like a Keese or something, you can do your secret family technique, the spin attack, and hook it. Yeah. But he has to be like pretty close to the edge.
Yeah.
So
I don't actually know. Can you grappling hook them? I don't know if you. I mean, it might take a while. I don't know.
The Keese?
No, like the items falling.
Oh yeah, no, I don't think you can target the item itself.
Oh yeah.
Eventually, we get an item that will make it easy to pick up 5 things at a time. But
yeah. So speaking of grappling hook, once we get past these rocks, we get to the top of the mountain. I mean, we have to go back in briefly, I think, to, there's like it's where you learn about the rats.
To learn about rats, yeah.
Feed them like bait and stuff like that.
Well, it's also like how the first time Carl calls us on the 2-way, because he's the one that says like, "Hey, did you know you could give rats got potions and stuff?" And I was just like, "How'd you get this number?" And he said nothing.
Is that really
new phone? Who dis?
Yeah, like you've been saying this whole time. Like he tells us nothing. But he's the one who's like, yeah, why don't you talk to that rat? That rat might have something for you.
For some reason, in my memory of this, I thought it was straight up just Tetra again, and I don't know why I assumed that.
I thought that too. I don't know why either. Because wouldn't she make like the hey noise?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it is very much a hey.
Yeah, I didn't notice.
It's not even like the quick hey. It's like a very long hey.
All right. And it wouldn't have made sense for Tetra to have like interjected at that point anyway. So I don't know why my brain did that to me.
But also,
in case you're near rats
can we
right
talk
now,
about that?
Well, she
What?
said she can see everything we're doing.
Yeah, she
And
can
we
still see
have
us.
the rock.
maybe, right?
You would think.
I mean, unless there's like a zone of like range with the thing, she should
you gotta
still
be
be
in the
able to
same-
see us.
You got to be in the same map square.
We're just a free Netflix show for her at the moment.
Yeah.
Can you imagine the whole crew is just like watching, like
What are these kids doing?
on the boat.
Kid's a spinning murder top.
Look, I'm going through the dungeon right now. I'm just wrecking everything.
Do have to say that this is a Wind Waker dungeon, and therefore, like, there is very little turning around to be done unless, like, you hit a dead end. In which case,
which we do in this one.
Yeah. But it is very much it leads you around, I'll say. I'm not a huge fan of Aonuma's dungeons.
Let me hold your hand.
I think they do a bit too much. They're fun. Like I said, there is some of the most Zelda things are in this, like, you know, the different ways that the wooden boards that block you, the way they progress. Very Zelda. So Zelda. Love it. It's a very Nintendo way to like slowly introduce mechanics to you. Still don't like how everything is just straight ahead. Pretty much it's straight ahead. So
yeah,
I like that dark room that we went into with no lights, and there was just like a big pot of sticks and one torch, and it was like, you know, go for it. Figure it out. Like, yeah, that was fun. I just threw like 3 torches into a room and like fought a bunch of bats. It was cool.
Yeah.
It was one of the more interesting rooms.
The rooms that has bokoblins hiding in pots. That one was fun. I enjoyed that. Because it's always funny when you discover them before they jump out.
Yeah, you don't even know what happened for like a whole 2 seconds.
Just crouching.
Just sitting there in their pot shape.
They're in that like the tornado drill pose.
Yeah, what's up?
So I had a few, since we're on the subject of talking about the dungeon, I had like a few lore, not really lore, just like cool facts about Dragon Roost Island.
Okay.
To kind of go over. So the music in, I want to say it was like the top, it might be the whole dungeon. I don't remember. I didn't have the sound on the whole time, but the music is the background music for some of Dodongo's Cavern and then the middle of the volcano.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Which is pretty cool. They kind of brought that back. It's kind of like eerie, but kind of makes the volcano kind of have a vibe.
It has the that same like audio sting that Dodongo has, where it's like that. It's almost like the reality television violin sting, kind of in the background. It just kind of, I don't know. It feels like homey. It's like, I know you. I know that sound. I'm in a fire area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
on the entrance to the main area of Dragon Roost, there's 2 green lizards that are kind of facing each other over the main door, and they look like Dodongos, which is kind of cool. So they kind of brought that back.
Like just an environment design.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's only once throughout the whole place. It's like only there once
on the door.
Yeah, so there's like one on one side and one on the other, and they're facing each other. It's just two little lizards. Like they're green, kind of looks like the dongos. You know what they were doing with it. They're kind of just doing a callback. And then I noticed the skull, like before we, well, I think this is actually after we get to where we're going right now, but there's a skull and there's like a locked barred door behind it. And that skull kind of resembles like a giant Dodongo too.
Oh.
Like the one that was in the
Dodongo's Cavern.
Yeah. So
Ooh.
cool little tidbits there.
Yeah, definitely doing the callbacks. So yeah, I mean, go through a few more like ins and outs, kind of as we climb up this mountain here, until eventually. Well, I want to say there is one other enemy that we run into before we get to the top.
Yeah.
That is it's like a lava centipede.
Yeah.
I mean, you run into
Magtail.
these in here too, but what's it called?
Magtail.
Magtail. Okay.
It's the
I want-
parent cousin of Moldorms, which are apparently frequent in most Zelda games. And Japanese name for them, Magutaru, is just, they just are known as tail,
Okay.
Okay.
apparently.
Magtail. Interesting. Annoying.
Weird.
Is what I call.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, they
They're
have
not
two
that
different
bad.
states. Well, I guess 3 different states, but like 2 different kind of end states.
yeah, they have like a roaming state. They have a up and ready to strike, and then if you hit them properly, they roll into a ball
Mhm.
and become an item that can like hold down switches if you need them to,
Or just outright die.
or die if you want to keep hitting them. Yeah, that's a thing.
You can parry them, which will just like cause you to do like a down A in Super Smash Brothers.
Yeah, it's for me, it's one of the easiest ones to mess up. Like a lot of parries, if you hit them right, it's like auto mode. You're gonna get the hit. With these, I feel like if you get the timing off, they can still hit you.
Mm.
While
That
you're doing your
and
acrobatics.
If
Depending
you're
on
on
the
like an
parry you do.
uneven surface, like I was on, you fight went on like a set of stairs, and he was on like the top part, and I did the parry, and he kind of rushed me, and I jumped up to him, and he came down, and it did that like twice.
He had the high ground, bro.
Mm-hmm.
It's over.
Doing flips when they have the high ground.
Yeah.
It's over, Link. I have the high ground.
Yeah, I had it's like 3 times just rolled back into the lava. It's like, no. just move to the side, Link, I guess.
Yeah.
I didn't do no perfect dodges this whole dungeon. Or parries.
What?
Because has the game even taught us about that yet?
Yeah,
mean-
old Orca did.
Orca might have, yeah. He did.
Yeah.
He was part of his regiment. I mean, that was pretty early on, though. That was like, 3 islands ago. So I understand if it's like a quick time event that you don't need most of the time.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You
Because
also,
there's one thing I do remember about this game, a part we're not going to get to until quite a bit later. I thought that's where they taught you how to parry.
Mm.
No, I mean, there's definitely
It's a
some
good idea to
enemies
parry
where,
I think it's
um,
almost necessary to parry them.
Yeah, I think there's definitely enemies too where it becomes way more critical to get parries in. Otherwise, you just spend way more time than you need to.
I can also see how like you might miss this parry because especially with the one on the platform, because it takes him, he has to like get situated first and like crawl into a specific spot and then like turn to you and then open his jaws. And then like a second later, the parry window comes up. I think it's like a 6-second process. If you just wait and like try to slash immediately, you won't see the parry ever come up.
Yeah. Takes a
you
while.
also probably
thing with
won't
the
do any
mob one.
damage because unless he's in his special position, he just doesn't really get hit.
Yeah.
Gotta hit him in the eyeball.
Right?
Yeah.
Or splash
I'll do
him
that
with
with
water.
hit him with the grappling hook a couple times. Yeah, the water one actually worked. I wish I had known that.
Yeah. I want to keep these guys in mind, these Magtails, because there's a point I want to say when we get to towards the end of this dungeon about them. But for now, I'm going to let them go as we make our way to the summit of the mountain. We kind of walk up. I get, do the stairs crumble behind us as we go up, so there's no turning back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And once we get to the top, we get this. And I actually took a pictograph of this, but a wooden barred cage with Medley inside, and it is guarded by 2 bokoblins, both with like big cleavers and wooden shields.
Mm-hmm. Big moblins.
Yeah, and they're
not moblins, bokoblins.
Goblins, yeah, and they're chilling in what is essentially
an arena.
Yeah. So you go rolling on in, or running on in, however you approached,
Rolling.
and you start getting the special combat music that has like bells involved that signify like each round happening. It's pretty great.
Yeah, it's very all Undertaker's biker phase. Yeah,
it's but it's pretty great. I mean, we fight. I think this is a kind of a big moment in the game too. I mean, it might not hit as hard if you've played the game before, but because after you defeat these 2 bokoblins, they drop a moblin into the arena.
Mm-hmm. A rock flies by, yells at you, calls you a punk, and drops drops a moblin on you.
Drops a moblin on you, which is it's a good moment because this is the enemy you couldn't fight on the Forsaken Fortress.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even after you get your sword, you don't run into them again, so they don't even give you the opportunity to go back and do that.
Yeah.
So this is like the first true mini boss of the game, is them dropping this in. Like, hey, do you remember how like these guys threw you in jail and you could do literally nothing? Well, here you go. See what you can do.
A lot of parrying, waiting.
Yeah.
I threw stuff at him.
I threw a sword at him.
I just went over there and beat him up.
Eventually, he goes into block mode.
Yeah, after I got him to drop his weapon, it became very much a pick up a weapon and chuck it at him game.
Yeah. Yeah, he kept blocking me, so I just did a couple parries after a while. But I did throw a sword at him.
Nice.
This whole time, I get it. Kamali, I totally get it. Valu sounds terrifying, and it is loud, and like, and I feel like intentionally so in the mix. And he's just slamming things and screaming.
He's as loud as them dang birds.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
It's like, I get it, kid.
He's like, it's kind of sounds like if when an elephant trumpeted, if it didn't have the trunk in the way.
Oh, my butt.
Yeah.
That's what elephants are usually yelling.
Makes sense.
Butt.
And so we rescue Medley from this little trap, and she kind of tells you like something's going on, like Valu's tail hangs underneath, and he's clearly in distress over something must be doing something to his tail.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. And she's like, follow me, and goes up on a rock, and then you go up and she gives you the grappling hook.
She also flies like real close to Valu. Like, she's not scared at all of him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think now that she understands what's happening, she's like, oh, we're not actually in danger. He's just in pain.
Yeah.
Also, the craziness of what she tells you about that grappling hook. This is from before our people evolved to have wings. I'm like, I'm pretty sure if the amount of time it took for your people to evolve to have wings, this rope would have disintegrated by now.
We've been using
that doesn't happen in 2 generations.
I don't think she means this specific one, but
hey, I mean, you know, this is a world without fish in the ocean after all.
I know, but yeah. I agree. I think this is like her saying this is old tech. Like this is what we used to use as a people, not like this is an ancient piece of rope. I mean,
I think she was using it.
Why do they need it now?
Because I think she needs it.
Oh, no,
fledgling.
So
they
said, yeah.
She was like, "This is what I used to get this far up the mountain."
Yeah,
because she couldn't just fly up because
she hasn't gotten her scale yet. Speaking of, why is an attendant to the Great Valoo not have a scale?
Doesn't
that seems weird.
Is that it? I always assumed that she did have her scale because she can fly short distances. Like she has wings.
Kind of.
But that's what confused me about this whole bit. When she's like, you know, this is what we used before we evolved wings. And I was like, my understanding was y'all still haven't quite evolved them. You get them from the dragon.
Yes, exactly. Y'all.
They have wings. They just can't actually, like, they're not strong enough to fly their own body weight until they get this scale somehow.
So this leads me to the next question. Why is there not, and if there is, why do I not have the mod where you can get the scale from Valoo and then just fly around the ocean?
Right?
I'm ready for that.
Right?
I mean, somebody has to have done it, right?
That has to have.
I mean, I've seen the Goose Waker, like for sure. Someone has done the half step of just Link with wings.
Hey, then they could actually call it the Wind Walker.
Okay,
because you can fly, right? Of course,
exactly.
So we get the next best thing to flying, which is
cutting bridges down,
swinging on a rope.
That does happen.
We get to do that too.
Oh, sorry. That's pretty close to flying.
Yeah.
I also enjoy falling.
It is time in the air. There's a couple places we get to do that. We get to drop a big old platform, which I definitely didn't cut only 2 ropes one time and end up falling into my lava doom.
Surely they won't allow this to happen. Nope, they do.
They do.
And then the next room is annoying, but not on the way there, on the way back, because this is a dead end.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, isn't this where we get the boss key or whatever?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Brings us all the way to a boss key, and we got to turn around and go back.
Are you talking about the part where you jump backwards?
Yeah. I don't know if you wanted to talk about the Magtail, though, Fonz. I know you were saying you wanted to save it.
No, that's for the boss room.
Oh, okay. Well, there's a Magtail. You got to put on a switch here to get the boss key.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But yeah, on the way back, what the heck? Okay, so there's basically a 3-way place you can go. So there's a lava pool in the middle to visualize, and then there's 3 separate platforms that you can swing to. On the way there, you can swing to either way you want to go. There's a place ahead of you and a place to the right of you. When you're coming on your way back, if you try to swing to the slightly higher platform, Link will just bonk his legs on the platform and fall.
Really? For me, he didn't even try.
I know the problem you're having.
Right.
I didn't have it because I knew what I was doing.
He bounces off the edge of that and goes back so fast. I cannot
It's a weird.
It's funny, and you can time it just right too. But they want you to stop swinging, and not only change directions, but then you can also raise and lower how far down you hang.
Yeah, I didn't know you can do that.
Yeah, it's like
did not explain it.
Your context buttons. And I don't know if Medley actually tells you any of this when she gives it to you, because I always skip through, like, usually it's like assign it to a button and then you can use it with that button. And maybe there was something additional there, but I didn't read it if there was. And
I can't remember if Nico says anything about it.
While you're swinging, you can see that there's a button that says stop. Like you can hold one of the R buttons to stop swinging. Once you stop swinging, you can climb up and down your rope to make it longer or shorter. And that's how you're supposed to navigate this whole area.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't either when I first played the game, and I swung across to that. Like, I was just like, I don't understand what I'm supposed to do. So I just swung across and like made a miracle jump that I don't think I was supposed to make.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I couldn't even tell that he was bonking and going backwards. It looked like he would just jump backwards, like the game was programmed. Like, oh, you can't go that way. Yeah, you got to go right and then across.
Really? Okay.
Like, he didn't move forward and hit the wall and bounce back at all in my game. He just, as soon as he let go of the rope, he was moving backwards. Like, he just jumped the wrong way.
It was frustrating before I realized, like, I guess I'll take the long way and jump over to this platform and then jump to that one. I say long way, as it's not like 5 seconds extra.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, if that works, I mean,
such an inconvenience to my life.
Yeah, they do a very bad job of making sure you know that mechanic exists.
Yeah, I feel like it maybe comes in play.
I think this is the room where they're trying to force that to happen. Like, you have to learn the controls to get through. But if it's possible to do without learning the controls, then they kind of failed at what they were going for.
Oh, you can 100% do it without learning those controls, because I did not know about them.
Were you able to change direction while swinging?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think you can also stop swinging by just not pressing forward and back anymore too.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can.
But you stop a lot faster if you actually press the button to stop. So it's a whole thing. Grappling hooks are weird, but they're fun. I find them fun, but
Yeah, I mean, it's the first dungeon item we get in the game, so it's going to be pretty important for the game. Usually the first one they give you, like, means you're going to be doing a lot of that throughout the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, this ain't no Rock's Cape or Cane Apache.
What do they give you? What's the first thing they give you in that one? Oh, the jar. Yeah, you kind of use the jar a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So the next thing we do, I mean, we've already passed through the room to get to the boss area, but because this is a dead end, we have to turn around, make our way back to the dungeon.
We had neither the key nor the rope to get across to the door.
Yeah.
Now we have it all.
Right. Hilariously, I did what's marked out. Like, I'm looking at a walkthrough right now. And the thing that they said, like, there's a little optional blurb for something that I had never thought to do before, but did this time without having seen this. And that is to basically do what Mayo said he was doing with the golden feather situation, but for joy pendants.
Oh, okay.
And I just went towards, like, one of the magic pots takes you right to a room with 2 bokoblins and a door behind them. So you can just straight up steal both their pendants, just leave, go out the door, come back in and do it over again, and they just keep resetting to be looking the wrong way. So they never see you coming, and you can just keep taking all their joy pendants until you have enough.
I don't need 40 joy pendants that bad.
You've stuck them in a permanent time loop of death.
Well, you only need 20 to get the mission critical thing.
Okay.
And then
is it different in your game than mine?
Get 40, but I gave her the second set of 20, and she did not care.
Yeah.
So
I forget. I think it's different for HD versus original, but I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember either. But yeah, so we can after using our newly found grappling hook to steal some items, or maybe you didn't do that. That's fine, because you have a whole game to collect them anyway, so it doesn't really matter. You can then go to the boss room, which is Gohma, but not like a Gohma you've ever seen before. This is the adult version of a Magtail Gohma.
Okay.
Which makes me feel like the Magtails are like the baby Gohmas of this game.
Yeah.
They don't call them that, and I feel like that's a missed opportunity.
Also, did they do titles in this game? Like, you know how like most of the games have like a boss title that's super epic for no reason. Like, do they do that in this game?
Yes, they do.
Because I have the title here, but I didn't know if like they actually displayed it.
They don't. I don't think they do like the wrestler titles. Like they don't do a title and a subtitle.
I believe you get that in New Game Plus. I want to say
the extra stuff.
You get the title, I think, or over, because it's not in the. It wasn't in my playthrough because I'm looking at it right now, but I do remember that being a thing, like because that's how you find out what the Ganon's giant bird's name is.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm gonna look at my playthrough because I am playing New Game Plus. I'm gonna see if it said it as I entered the room.
Because it says it online. It says it's the arthropod cyclops monster.
That doesn't sound familiar.
I don't know about that. I thought it was like Parasite Queen or something.
I'm watching right now. Link's looking up at the tail. Whole room starts shaking. The big old glowing rings start appearing, and out pops Gohma. Breathes some fire, looking all epic. Slams its claws down, still breathing fire. No title card. Just cuts right to the action.
Okay.
Nintendo.
Breathing lava, I assume.
Well, yeah.
I kind of hope that they were going to call it a scorpion, because then at least you could say that they're both
like arachnid.
Yeah, arachnids.
Okay.
Because scorpions and spiders are both. But if it's an arthropod,
there's also another
totally
title.
Different.
I don't know where these titles go. But this one's for Hyrule Warriors. Okay. And then what's this one for? This one's for Ocarina of Time. Apparently it was called Parasitic Armored Arachnid in Ocarina of Time, but Wind Waker does not have a title card.
Interesting.
I don't know why.
Yeah,
Missed
Wind Waker, you have to
opportunity.
rely on the figurines for the names of things.
I guess so.
It looks like the figurine doesn't even have a name. It just says Gohma.
Yeah. I don't know.
You're going to have to rely on the walkthrough for that one.
Yeah, or maybe, Hyrule Historia or something. You gotta go back to the encyclopedia and
Gotta spend more money.
Find the full name.
That's right. Buy the amiibo.
But as we kind of hinted to,
By the figurine.
this version of Gohma is many-legged, has two giant pincers, an eyeball that is an obvious weak spot, kind of. But it's also armored.
It's got bio armor.
Yeah, it's got that exoskeleton just covered in chitin.
Yeah.
And so we're in this room that's just a straight up circle arena, lava pool in the middle, bunch of wooden platforms in the walls for some reason, and a tail of Valoo sticking out of the top of the ceiling. Not the top, the middle of the ceiling, sorry. And it has a very conspicuous hook shape to it that reminds us of places where we can use a grappling hook.
You don't say.
Yeah. So if you try to just fight this thing head on, you're going to soon realize that swords and grappling hooks don't work against an armored beast such as this. However, if you were to say swing from the tail of Valoo, the first time you do it, you get kind of a comical cutscene, cuts outside to the top of the volcano, and Valoo like looks down, like very annoyed at what is happening.
Yeah.
And
this is a new feeling for my butt.
Throws a tantrum fist into the top of the volcano, which causes a very large rock to fall down inside the room and smash on top of Gohma.
Mm-hmm.
Which I guess has never happened in the rest of the time Gohma has been just tormenting Valoo.
Yeah.
Even though he has been pounding the whole time.
Yeah.
We just helped.
Yeah, I think maybe, by pulling on the tail, we just adjusted, it was kind of jammed on the tail for a bit, but since we swung from it, we were able to loosen that rock that way.
Our little child weight helped out immensely.
Exactly.
It was the Newton we needed.
And if you go and attack this thing after doing this once, you'll find that you haven't cracked the chitin quite enough. So you got to do this like 2 more times, 3 times total, to initiate what is essentially the actual boss fight.
Right.
Until then, it's just a puzzle.
Which this bit is hilarious. He's looking at you like, oh, and you just wind up the hook shot, the grappling hook, and you're like, get down here. And he's like, oh, hey, what's up, bud? And you're like, rah, rah, rah. And he's like, get down here. Oh, what's up, bud?
Yeah, it's great. Basically, he becomes helpless at that point.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell he's extremely perturbed, and he puts on a good show of trash talking. But the second you hit him with that grapple hook, it's just game over.
There's no defense to it at that point.
Yeah.
The rest of the boss fight takes about 10 whole seconds if you do it right.
Yeah.
Link's little 75-pound body tearing this what looks like 2-ton mega creature down to the ground at his feet, like, here's.
So I gotta say something. I had done some perusing with this game before we actually started playing this game, and the Nintendo developers are just absolutely hilarious. It might not be the developers, it might be the model creators, but whoever is responsible for the placement and like deload and loading of assets are absolutely hilarious in this game. So their solution to asset management in this game, when there's like weapons that come from a character out of nowhere, or like objects that come from like a boss or enemy out of nowhere, they instead of like loading and deloading the assets because it would like be too taxing on the system at the time, they just had the assets already preloaded. But for instance, with Valoo, his tail was technically like a separate asset, but when you come up to, like, if you come to Dragon Roost and you're flying in and you see Valoo at the top, and you can go into the cavern and see his tail, but to keep that from like coming out of the mountain, because Valoo is just so much bigger, his model, based on the size of the mountain, because the summit is like a preloaded scene. They made his tail the size of like the dungeon room compared to his actual size. And so when you actually zoom in to see his tail, it's so tiny. I'll have to pull a picture, but it's so tiny. And they did that to keep that tail from like showing outside of the mountain.
Yeah.
Because if they just left it like normal size, his tail swinging would like come out of the mountain side. So they shrunk it down to like the size of the dungeon room compared to his actual size. It's like so tiny. And that theme stays constant throughout the rest of the game. Like every time there is something that happens, like later on, like when we face up against a certain somebody and they draw like a weapon out of their hand, and you're like, oh wow, that's cool, like he drew a weapon out of his sleeve. No, that weapon was in his palm. It was just like the size of like a tiny little thumb.
Yeah.
And they just,
So they
it's
would
so
just
funny.
scale stuff down to hide it, is what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
Just like
And
shrink
it's,
it.
now that I know that like every asset that they have that just like appears randomly is just scaled so small, you can't see it unless
Until
you're
you need
really
it.
looking. Yeah. It's just so great.
Interesting.
That's how he has all those items in his pocket.
Right? Canonical. They're like capsules from Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. So we defeat Valu. Link does a happy dance not Valu, sorry. Wow. We defeat Gohma.
Baloo, no!
We defeat Gohma, and Link does a happy dance as Gohma is dying.
It's such a great dance. And then he's staring at his new heart.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah.
We pick up that new
We
heart.
ripped Goma's heart
We
out.
go into the wind tunnel because that's the teleporter in this game.
Mhm.
And it brings us right back out onto the shoreline, which is super convenient for the cutscene that's coming.
Very reminiscent of like, well, I mean, the game comes later, but Phantom Hourglass, when you beat the dungeon, usually the game spits you back out on the docks of the island and all the people are around and they're very much like, okay, goodbye. Like, you can leave now.
Yeah.
But
So
it's not as, they're not really kicking you out in this game, but you do end up down by the docks.
Yeah. And Medley and Komali both show up.
Mm-hmm.
Medley calls out to you, and then when she actually gets there, she turns to Medley, like she turns to Komali, and she's like, "Well, didn't you have something you wanted to say to him?"
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of throws him into the situation.
Young man.
And he's super grateful. He decides that giving you Din's Pearl is he words it very poorly, is what I will say. Because he basically says, like, by giving this to you, I will get the courage I need to, try again with Valu. Something along those lines. Where
he's saying, yeah, his grandma gave him a thing, and if I give you my grandma's thing, that feels like a big boy thing to do, and I'll be a big boy.
Right. But yeah, it's just, I don't know if it's supposed to reflect his understanding of what's happening or if it's just written in a weird way, because it's like
he does not know what he has.
Right. He doesn't.
Neither do we.
It's like this family heirloom. It's been passed down, but I don't need it anymore. To me, what he's saying is like, I need to let go of this to grow. Like, I need to let go of this thing that I'm using to cope in order to actually, like, become a better Rito. Whereas what he's saying is like, if I give this away, then I'll be courageous. And I'm like,
then I'll have to be a big boy. Look, if I give you all the pull-ups I have in the house, then I will have to be a big kid now.
Wow.
Kinda.
How it works.
It's just funny because that's the thing that, like, you said it backwards kind of, because pull-ups, their whole catchphrase is I'm a big kid now.
But now you really have to be you're a big kid because you're able to have accidents but still pretend that you don't. Now you really have to be a big kid.
You better make it to that bathroom on time.
Getting the crib back out.
Use the grappling hook. You'll get there faster.
Get to the bathroom faster.
From the door frames throughout the house. Lands right on the toilet. Made it.
I told you not to let our child go to the Nico summer camp.
So ironically, Komali giving us Din's Pearl is also the way that we are going to grow in our journey. And so after Kamali leaves, has this conversation with us, and then just is like, all right, peace out. Medley hangs back, and Valu yells at us.
It's like, thanks.
Basically, he says, I can actually find the actual line in my stream if I go back to it.
Yeah, because he
it's very
howls
short.
a few times.
He does, but he only says 2 lines.
Yeah, but he howls a few times earlier, and we see like the pool getting better and the clouds clearing up, and but then he actually like just yells at us.
Yeah. And I believe what he yells is essentially "Thank you, true hero." I don't even know if he says "true," but he definitely says "Thank you, hero," and then he says "Use the wind god's wind."
Okay.
Let me read it outright because it's about. I just found it in my video here.
That sounds right.
Hold on. Here it comes.
So what's that dragon say?
I'm trying to read it now.
I'm teeing you up.
You gotta fight a dragon.
Okay, it says, "Oh hero, thank you. Oh hero, use the wind god's wind." So pretty much exactly what I said. So then, if you're not playing New Game Plus, that just comes off as like a bunch of gibberish Hylian script. And then Medley tells you that he said to use the wind god's wind. So she kind of just picks that part out.
Use the wind god's wind? He said you were a hero.
Yeah. And then she ponders the wind god shrine for a minute. And then also is like, oh, I almost forgot. He also said you're the true hero. So it's like a whole thing. The deity.
Thanks.
Yeah. She thanks us one more time, leaves, and we are back to dealing with the mystery of the Wind Waker, I suppose we could call it.
Yes. And the wind god.
Yeah. So, let's I feel like we can kind of address this now rather than waiting for next episode. If you try to talk to the King of Red Lions, he's like, we can't go anywhere because the wind's not right. Maybe figure something out first. And you're like, all right, cool. So you go to the Wind God Shrine, and there is a song, straight up. Like, the symbols look exactly like the ones that you learned when you were conducting. And you can learn the actual song to direct the wind.
Written on the statue.
Yes.
And there's a broken one next to it.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. So we learned the Wind's Requiem. That's what it's called. Which is cool. Requiems are pretty cool.
Word.
We got the Requiem of Shadow once in a previous lifetime.
Great Requiem.
Love that Requiem.
It's a little strange. Sorry, I'm like looking this up right now.
I require a new Requiem.
Because Requiems are like funeral music. So like, why would it call the Wind's Requiem?
I mean, the dude is in the grave 6 feet under.
I don't necessarily know if it's a...
But he's a
funeral music. It's gotta be a dirge.
This leads to a question, because we're about to talk to somebody. Why is there a grave there? Whose grave is that? Is this man just... Yeah, so the wind shrine, like the stone that has the music on it resembles a gravestone shape. Kind of.
I mean, yeah, I guess so. I mean, it could just be a shrine, some other kind of shrine, but it is very gravestone to like our culture, I guess.
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, because all of this just, screams old animist folklore. If they let my statue get broken, well, now I have to mess with them.
This reminded me of Flat and Sharp.
Well, it's very flat and sharpy. Because we meet Zephos, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
First of all. So Zephos is brother to Cyclos.
Hate that guy.
And yeah. And so he shows up when you first direct the wind. He's like, wow, that's a mighty fine wind you just did there. And then tells you kind of all about his brother. He's like, oh, by the way, if you ever meet my brother, he's throwing a fit because of his statue. So be sure to chastise him for me. And I'm like, what a strange request, but okay, I guess I'll chastise a deity. Why not?
Yeah,
The deity is kind of throwing a tantrum, so
this is straight out of folklore. Like, this is absolutely like, yeah, take your weapon and bop the deity on the head, and because another deity asked you to.
Yeah,
God's
you are a hero, right? You gotta.
Yeah.
If you're gonna be a real hero, you gotta be willing to bonk a deity every once in a while.
Exactly.
True.
Just
how do you think we find out what fire is?
Didn't you read the Odyssey?
Mm-hmm.
It's a whole thing.
And I also like how Zephos zips around to behind us and in front of us and all over around us the whole time he's talking, like just showing off how he's like one with the wind. He's no. It's great.
Yeah, it's more Smash Cuddy moments in this game. They're just kind of everywhere, and I'm here for it.
Yeah. I agree. Zephos is one of my favorite character designs, even though his part in this game is brief.
Yeah, this is it.
I kind of feel like it's that level of insanity for a funny way, which is why we got the Wind Waker the way we did. Yeah, like we got put in a barrel, smash cut into a barrel where our face changed every second all the way down to our acceptance of what was about to happen, amongst many other things. Like it just felt like another one of those. They did this just to be silly. Like they're very much so going for the cartoonishness.
Yeah, it is straight up a cartoon.
And it's better for
tone. Yeah.
True. And so with this, the King of Red Lions says we can't leave until the wind is blowing south. We can magically make that happen.
Mm-hmm. We do make it happen in the cutscene with Zephos. If you pay attention, like those shrines, when you're looking at them, you are facing south. In the cutscene, when you learn the song, the wind moves past you south, and then yet when the cutscene was over, the wind was still going east, and I was very upset.
See, I didn't even realize that, but yeah, it's annoying that the King of Red Lions won't even let you climb into the boat until the wind is going the proper direction.
Right.
So
whoa! What are we doing?
Sounds like crunk.
Like we can't sail to the wind's the right direction, and you make it the right direction. Suddenly, you can just climb into the boat, no problem.
You can't get at me. The wind's not going the right direction.
I approve of Kronk Carl.
Yeah,
Kronk Carl.
I immediately changed the direction back to west and went back to Windfall.
Did you get your sail?
I did. I got the fast sail.
How much did it cost you?
I sparked a romance. I caught a pictograph man and his friend. I did all kinds of stuff.
How much did it cost?
I showed a picture of the moon to our moon friend.
Mm-hmm.
How much?
Yeah,
did
he
it
likes
cost
that.
me? It cost me everything I owned. Okay.
Oh my god! Well, I want to know if I have enough. I have like 410. Do I have enough?
No, I have that 500, and I lost all of it and then some because I had to go around collecting rupees while I was doing this too.
Oh no!
Where'd you
I'm
get
not
the wallet?
that good at the auction.
I don't know.
That's right. Don't you guys start with a bigger wallet than I do?
I guess because I was immediately able to go up to over 400.
Yeah, I tapped out at 2.
I thought about that while I was going up over 300. I'm like, Luigi said you could only get 200. I wonder why that is.
Yeah, I forgot they You get like the first wallet upgrade for free or something.
Yeah. It went up to 500. I went back to the island. You have to win a sea chart. You have to win a joy pendant, which is the most expensive joy pendant, seeing that I already had 40 of them. I was very annoyed by that auction. I had to win a second sea chart. The first sea chart started at like 40 rupees or 60 rupees or something like that. The second one started at 5. But if you're not quick with it, those other auctioneers will just rip it right up to 100 before you're done. So, yeah, it was gross having to win 2 sea charts. I think there was a heart piece I had to win. That one I wasn't too mad about. It was really the sea chart that started at 5 was like the really annoying one. I straight up lost it once to Gossick. Like he bought it and then I left and came back and they were like, I know Gossick actually just won this, but for some reason he wanted to part with it. And so it's up for auction again. And guess who's in the audience bidding again? Gossick. He's like the first one to throw a bid at the chart that he just gave back. I'm like,
sold it back.
I had that same exact situation, but I think with her name is Melinda.
Mm-hmm.
And she won the first time. And then I went back and he's like, yeah, I mean, she didn't want it, but it's not because it wasn't awesome. Like, guy, just be
who's ready to buy again?
No one wants the sea chart because no one's leaving the island but me.
True.
So I won all of those things, and I was pretty much like, every time I'd win an auction, I'd then go around the island and just break all the pots, get all the rupees, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
When I finally went in for the fast sale, I had 200, but that was like a restocked 200. Like I got out of there and I didn't have a whole lot, so I went around the island a couple times, got that back up to 200. I was like, I think I can win with this. Went in, ended up costing me like 193 to get the snake bad.
Did you?
I guess before I go, I have to save the children's.
Do you stun as much as possible, or do you kind of like save the stun for like the last 10 seconds?
Stun as much as possible, because if you don't keep them stunned, they will go faster. And like they will go more than 10% in 10 seconds. Like they're dumb fast with their.
I feel like in the beginning,
they're not stunning each other.
I feel like in the beginning, because I think this stun is 10 seconds. I feel like in the beginning they don't bid that much.
Here's the part that I found frustrating. If you are bidding on something that is already over, say, 50 rupees, and then you do 10%, you can stun the room. But the C chart that starts at 5, you can straight up like bid 20 and they don't get stunned. They're like, nah, like we're all bidding right now. Like it does not matter what you bid now. So for that one, you want to wait until you can stun before you put in your first bid. And that takes a while. Like it's just a weird auction because you can't, like you think, oh, it's starting at 5, I should be good. There's no easy win for that you would expect. It took me a couple tries to figure out what method I needed to use because I was trying to get them all stun locked off the bat and they just wouldn't. They were like, no, you might as well just let us bid because we're not going to. I was like, all right, cool.
Yeah. But I guess for your information, Cam, I started with 470 and I won 2 items. I think it's the fast sale next, but I didn't actually start it and I have 110 left, which is not enough.
Ooh.
There's 4 things I think you have to get before you get the
4? Yeah, no, then I have nowhere near
2
enough.
C charts, a heart piece, and a joy pendant.
Goodness.
Yeah.
Okay, I need a lot more than.
And then I went back to Dragon Roost and saved my game.
I wonder what, like, there's got to be a speed runner with like the best possible, like.
Mm-hmm. You also need to do those auctions perfectly too. You have to stun them at the perfect time every time.
I remember watching a speedrunner do that, and they had an exact rupee count they needed. They're like, as long as I have like 137 or something. Yeah, and they did it perfectly, which is not what I did because I ended up wasting all my rupees.
And then there's plenty of speedrunners that do randomizer races and stuff. And so, yeah, the auction house definitely comes into play for randomizer races.
Oh, here we go. Okay, so it says treasure chart is anywhere between 110 to 130. Joy pendant is 150 to 160. A piece of heart is 160 to 180, and swift sail is 200 to 300.
Oh, I actually got a
That's
deal.
average. Yeah, those are average numbers. So if you can stun and get them up, you can get them faster. I think the first treasure chart I actually got for 90, but the second one, which was cheaper. No, I'm saying that backwards. The first one I got for the it was like 130, and the second one I got for 90, I think.
Yeah. I got the 5 rupee one for 100 rupees. I was so done bidding on this stupid thing. One fun fact, you can't go off the critical path. Even if you do have the fast sail, if you try to sail to any block that's not in the L shape, that is...
We are still a tutorial.
Windfall to Dragon Roost and then straight down to Forest Haven. You have to stay inside that L shape, or else the King of Red Lions will be like, we should sail directly where we're going.
Hey.
Well, part of me was like, hey, boss, it's actually more direct if you let me make the diagonal here, but he would not. So,
yeah, and I told people like, hey, I'm going to be streaming, and someone showed up a little late, and it was like, yeah, this is a really short section of the game. Right now, they don't want us doing much. They want us to do exactly the things they want us doing right now.
Yeah.
Huh. Listen to this. I didn't know this. 2 additional facts about the auction I'm reading right now, because I'm trying to find the hidden amount that the best speedrunners ever done. But bidding more than 20% actually shocks them for longer than the 10 to 15 second 10% bid. And then apparently that's Gummy who hints at that tactic. And then bidding 999 rupees automatically makes Link the winner.
Right, because
I would hope so.
They can't go up any higher.
I love the guy that when you win, I think he's like the guy in the first row, the mustache guy. I don't remember his name, but
Mario.
Yeah, Mario. He's like, wow, I cannot believe a child beat me. You will spend money so recklessly. You are my hero.
All right, Mario.
Oh man.
So one tip. I mean, I used the 10% the whole way. I didn't know about the 20%, and I don't know how long they get stunned for that. But when you do 10%, my experience is that they are stunned for approximately 10 seconds. I don't know what this 10 to 15 is. Like, sometimes there's some fudge in there, like it's a little over 10. But I think once you hit 11 seconds, they start bidding again. And the way you can keep track of that easily is that Link will start jumping up and down when he's winning.
Yeah.
And he jumps twice a second.
Okay. He does I just killed a giant thing and got their heart dance.
Yeah.
Oonga boonga.
We all know that dance.
And gain his power.
Yeah.
Because I was originally counting, and I was like literally just counting seconds as they the whole cutscene goes, because it pans left and right so you can see everybody stunned. And at first I was like, oh, I wonder if the pan is an exact amount of time or something. And then the stars above their heads were resetting, and I'm like, I wonder if that's a hint. And then it took me a while, and I was like, wait, every time I count a second, Link has jumped twice. I'm pretty sure he's just jumping twice per second. That makes it really easy, and it did. It worked out. I was just able to count, 20 jumps and then just hit again. Well, I say that. You have to mash A and count at the same time.
I'm probably going to meta this when I do it. And I'm going to look up basically what Mayo did and find out how much each item costs and try to get the lowest amount on each one and just save scum. Because I don't know about you guys, but I don't feel like getting 300 to 400 extra rupees on Windfall Island, That sounds like a pretty bad time.
I don't actually have to do any of this for a while if I don't want to. So,
I mean,
but
we could
that's
wait a
because I
while
don't have
too,
a fast
can't we?
sale. Well, if you're really, really, really dying to get a fast sale, then. But
Isn't there a point in
yeah,
the game
I
where
don't-
this auction changes though, and you can no longer get the fast sale?
I don't think so.
Oh
But
no!
I've never played the HD version, so
I think the endless night you can't get it, and that happens.
yeah.
We don't
Go
know
away.
what that is.
Yeah, what's
Go away, it's evil out.
that?
All right.
It's evil.
Strong
What's the
forecast
weather
of
outside
evil.
today? Yeah.
75% chance of evil raining from the skies.
75% chance of evil.
Probably won't come
So
across.
yeah. So next episode we're going to be heading towards the Forest Haven. If you guys don't mind, I'm going to close this one out. But before we do, Luigi, where can people find you outside of this podcast?
Oh, cool. You can check out Need for Speedrunning, which is a podcast about speedrunning that I do with Jay Hobbs from, used to run Games Done Quick, like Interview Crew and stuff. And you can also find me on Luigi's Apartment or twitch.tv/Luigi's_apartment most nights for like half an hour to an hour playing baseball. But we're going to do more streaming stuff, Tiffy and I, pretty soon. So, but yeah, follow me over there.
Nice. All right, everyone. This has been A for No, B for Yes. Thank you so much for listening. This has been our Dragon Roost Island episode. Next time will be Forest Haven. Be sure to catch us next time on A for No, B for Yes.
Yar, you are a pirate.
Yar, watch your feet, it's wet.
Yar, did you get all that from me, mateys?